Now we are now connected with a psychologist, Regina Navira Pratiwi. Now, good morning, Regina.
Good
Good
morning. How are
morning
you
to
guys?
you.
Thank you for being with us this early in the morning.
Thank you for
Okay,
having me
so
today.
this is a very sensitive slash common topics when it it's about marriage. Now, obviously, when people get married, obviously in the following years they hope to have successful marriage life.
Yes.
Okay. Now, sometimes, Maragina, they don't know in the middle of the process or as they are actually trying to know each other in the marriage field. Sometimes, one may be too, influenced by another, right? So what are the signs of this so-called toxic marriage?
Okay, it's very interesting, yeah, about toxic marriage. So yeah, marriage it becomes toxic when one or both side can cause the unhealthy mental, physical, and also like emotional issues. And this kind of issues will affect like their mental health and a lot of things, but also this issue can take out the spark in the relationship and turn into big problem. And also like it may remove all the happiness, draining their
Yeah.
emotion, and damage the psychological well-being. So also it can lead us to have like negative self-doubt, shame, and some of mental health issues, something like that. But yeah, when those things that I mentioned before happen to the relationship, they really need to dissolve it actually.
So let's say in a real example, can you mention some of the toxic marriages traits?
Yeah, it will be like toxic masculinity that happened to Johnny Depp and Amber Heard. The way they have gender bias perspective or point of view in their marriage. And the root is like gender inequality inside there. So like boys don't cry, they don't treat their partner as a natural human being, that they forget that their partner has like feeling, maybe insecurities, need emotional support. They trap in the gender bias, like inequality inside there.
So
Okay.
that's one, and probably also when it comes to domestic violence, that is also like a real sign of toxic marriage. But what actually can cause it, Regina? Is there any
Trigger?
obvious trigger?
Yeah, it comes from toxic person. It's like the trigger is, for example, they don't have like assertive communication in the relationship. They like put all the problem and trauma and experiences from their partner or their past experience in their unconsciously level in their personality. It is projection, like being a dominant and being more superior than the partner, and being a gaslighter who can manipulate the relationship and always blame our partner. So it comes from a
Gaslighting,
toxic
yes.
person actually.
Okay. Now, you didn't mention about, blaming partners. It's not just, the husband blames the wife, but sometimes the wife
Or
can
vice versa.
Yeah, okay, that's so true. Now, but here commonly in Indonesia, Regina, it's the, I don't know, maybe it's just because of the tradition, maybe?
Yeah, it's the culture in
The
society.
culture, the society itself, husbands can be more dominated, right, to the wives itself. But again, to that can actually trigger this so-called marriage toxic, life, toxic marriage life. So again, there's a huge correlation between this toxic marriage life and also mental health that you just mentioned. But how can actually people try to prevent this toxic and also mental health? It's you did mention about knowing each other or the way they speak to each
Yeah.
other,
Communicating
communicating wisely. But again, in real life, sometimes because of the length or the years of getting into married, right? It's the range of the numbers
Yes.
of marriage life continues on and on, like 20, 30, 50 years. It's normal to see that men are actually dominating the husband dominating the wives.
wives.
Your thought about that?
Okay, it's about like social construct. This play a role here.
Yeah.
It's like, it's also like gender inequality, social construct, and cultural pressure is actually for men or women to behave in a certain way because they are women and they are women and they are men. They have to behave in a certain way, so they get pressure. And of course, it's built like inequality, but people normalize it in our society. That's the problem.
Yeah.
Yeah. How to prevent this is like, okay, maybe we try to prevent before we get married, or maybe we'll fix it. To prevent it, like, get to know each other, how to communicate it. Before, we have to know about the perspective, about how they can treat us equally as a women, how this partner can treat us equally as a man. They don't trap in like gender bias that I mentioned before. Like, because gender inequality in a relationship, it will lead us for having a toxic marriage or maybe a toxic relationship. Yeah, it comes from gender inequality plays over here, and also like cultural pressure from our society. We have to get strong with our value that people are same. We are human nature, and we have to understand about it and accept that our partner is normal. They have feelings, no matter he or she is like now all female. Just stop thinking about gender based with some of labeling that men should be superior, aggressive, and so on and so on.
So this is the thing about the modern society at the moment, because gender is not a measurement per se, in a way that now men can actually sit home, taking care of the kids and being housemen.
And that is that's not a shame. You don't
that's
need to
not
be
a shame.
ashamed of that.
That is actually something that is not easy to achieve.
True.
That is not easy to achieve. And also, women can also being outside looking for the livelihood, and we need to normalize that in order for us to be able to eliminate the gender bias. But let's say it is too late for a person to examine themselves being in a toxic marriage. If they are trapped in this situation, what should they do?
Okay, a marriage is about like two persons, like they have this relationship, so they have to be understand and aware about what's going on in this relationship.
Right.
Like the first step, they can accept. This is like the best approach to deal with toxic marriage. To fix the toxic marriage, they have to accept that everyone can make mistake. Like our wife or our husband, they made mistake in the past. But let's try a new beginning. Just let it go. Everything that in the past is left behind. And also, we try to practice forgiveness to our partner with each other. It should be like two sides, because it's not gonna be okay if only the wife or the husband, so they have together to fix it.
Yeah.
It's the best way is like accept and practice forgiveness, and also like they can go to professional if they cannot fix it together, and there's no way to do some of psychotherapy or couple counseling that will help them to find new way and a new beginning to find the better one.
Okay.
So
relationship.
let's say every possible ways have been performed.
Right.
Has been performed. But what is the sign of a person should be getting out of the marriage when it comes to toxic marriage?
Yes.
Because some people cannot be changed.
Yeah.
Exactly. That's true. Yeah. Some people cannot be changed if they don't have like internal motivation, of if they don't have like good intention to change or to realize about their mistakes. But to leave when like a relationship cannot we cannot like fix this relationship, just leave it. Of course, there's still the problem. The problem is still there when we leave the relationship. It will be a lot of trauma,
Right.
like from the personality, like in there, because of the bad behavior of our partner in relationship. There will be a lot of trauma, and we need to heal it. Like understand about what you feel, that when you stay in the relationship, you will get very unhealthy mental condition, and it will not good. So it's better, let's try to find the good one when you are being single. You can be more productive, focusing on your own, and like focusing with our own mental health, and also like heal the trauma, because the trauma will stuck there if you're not trying to find trustworthy person to share. So that's the thing.
Okay.
Alright.
Now, you did mention about this, toxic marriage life, which is correlated with mental health itself, and also domestic violence. Now, we're not talking about slapping or physical or punching or something like that, right? Because sometimes we are educated,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
We know that a male cannot actually punch or hit.
Or vice versa.
Or vice
Nobody
versa.
should hit anyone.
That is so true. Not like Johnny Depp and Amber Heard. But anyway, my point is actually, when it comes to domestic violence in marriage, Regina, it's not just about punches and physical, right? Because sometimes saying words can be considered as domestic violence, right? Now, your thoughts about that, and how should we know, people who are in that kind of marriage know that our spouse is actually doing this so-called domestic violence by words.
What is the limit?
Yes.
Okay, it's like verbal abuse.
Yeah, verbal
Right?
abuse.
It's like, we have like 4 types of abuse, like verbal, emotional, physical, and financial or economics abuse. So when we feel uncomfortable about something from our partner, we can try to acknowledge what kind of issue that he created for us, or he or she created. Like we can try to acknowledge when we feel uncomfortable. Just don't invalidate our feeling and our thoughts when we feel uncomfortable from our partner. That's the thing. Is just focusing on your own, focusing on what you feel and what did happen, and then after that, just give some space for your heart and your soul to take a rest, and then you can talk. Like you can talk assertively with your partner about it, and in the best way, of course. It's just like understand his or her or his personality, and just trying to talk assertively about it.
So again, it's about communication. It's about communication. So you have to able to have the good communication skills with your partners, as well as good communication system in your marriage. Now, Regina, thank you so much for that. And despite the fact that whether you were actually supporting Amber or Johnny, but apparently we see like the public is very amused with
Yes.
all the trials along 6 weeks, and I hope that would be a lesson for people in public that marriage is actually the things between 2 people, not only one. Yes. Regina, thank you so much, and I hope you stay safe,
Thank you for
and
having me.
talk to you again soon.
Bye now. Okay.
Okay, bye.
So that's very interesting. So, lots of notes that you've taken already.
I've been taking notes. I've been taking lots of notes about marriage, and probably I'm gonna ask for Rahma as a married couple.
Okay, later on the show.